Hello, everybody. I just want to talk a little bit about the moment before the gun went off before we totally put it away. Just some things I wanted to clarify that kind of seem to be issues throughout. I really wanted to look at this number 7 question. It said, what are some unique, frustrating things that she did? A lot of you talked about the chronology of the story, and that is something Gordimer is going to keep doing, where she kind of messes with time. She'll give you information, and then she's going to go back and give you more information about something. She kind of like drips information at you, just like a little bit at a time. It's not like O'Brien where just you get it all at once. You really have to pay attention with Gordimer. She's going to do that with her characters too. She's never going to say this character is blank. She's never going to give you an adjective to describe them. Instead, she's going to tell you all about how characterization techniques, how Vanderveer, other people respond to him, how he kept to himself as a child, how his wife doesn't really seem to even like him, right? How he's in this political party and he doesn't seem to want to be. He was only picked, right, because he was there. It wasn't because he was really active and in the apartheid. He just was picked. So you're getting all these little hints about him. And then she's going to drop a bomb on you, like the end of the story. And then you have to go back and kind of figure out where the pieces were, which a lot of you did when you picked like that foreshadowing question in the creative. So a lot of you kind of went back and kind of found those details that where she did give hints to it ahead of time, even though it's not obvious to start. Another thing that a lot of people wrote about was her punctuation. She does have very interesting punctuation. It's something to pay attention to. It's very purposeful. I think in this one, the first part of it is written almost as a monologue. It's like this really icky, passive-aggressive person just kind of telling their story and how, they think they're so open-minded, but really they're not. There's all these things that they're saying in the parentheses that are really racist, and so even though they think that they're not, right? And so you've got that contrast, and you can see that with the punctuation. And then you had that contrast for that very end. There's almost a different narrator at the end who tells you the real story of what's happening. So hopefully that will help with the story a little bit. Let me know what questions you have. A lot of you wrote questions on, and I was able to answer those. I went through and I did voice recordings for them. And then after I went through, I started with 6th hour and I went through, but 6th hour and 5th hour, I went back to look and most of them didn't save. So just your scores are in, but I'll have to go back in and I'll have to re-record. That's what I spent all day doing. My voice is like sore and dry, and you don't even get to hear what I said. I love technology. It's wonderful. Okay, and then the final thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, because in this story that you're about to start today, Once Upon a Time, maybe some of you already did, it's going to have this double narrative thing. So pay attention to where Gordimer does breaks between paragraphs. So if there's like a couple lines, that means there's some sort of shift happening. It's just short stories, so there's no chapters, but it's almost like that. So think about, it's probably either a shift in narrator or a shift in plot, or it's something big, all right? That's what the breaks between paragraphs mean. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is what you're going to be doing on Friday, but I just want to preview it because I know some of you just like to get things done. And that's the analysis where you go through and you highlight and mark up a text. So I'm going to be showing you a couple examples. First example, a variety of perspectives offers clarity and a better chance of obtaining a resolution. That's the claim. So you can see the highlighting, the marking up, looking for different things. So all of the things with point of view are in one color, everything with pronouns. So you're not just looking for little tiny little pieces or little tiny lines. You want to have something where you can explain multiple pieces of it. So if I pick characterization, I can come up, talk about 3 different things. I can talk about, they say the truth of that, they think all blacks are like big mouth agitators in town, and then I can talk about go away and hide himself if he caught you smiling at him, right? So I can talk about 3 different pieces. So that is ideal. You can see this is very clear and I know exactly what the person is thinking. Here's another example done differently, but still great. So the global issue is judging an individual and the actions of a group. And then the claim, what is Gordimer saying? Gordimer is saying that judging individual based on actions of the group will lead to further separation. So you can see the devices here. We have repetition and then a little bit of explanation. Remember, the goal of these is for you guys, that if you choose to do this for your final for the class, or for Gordimer, or for your IO, your big assessment that you'll have for IB, you want to have things as clear and clean as possible so you don't have to go back and do it again. So looking at this, this person is going to be easily ready to do a verbal IO on it because they have themselves set up in a very nice, clear, clean fashion. And they even gave themselves some explanation that would help them if they choose to do this. And here's a third example. This one is back to the highlighting with the diction. The one thing I would say is if you do use diction or imagery, make sure that you put an adjective before it. So what kind of diction are we seeing? But this one, the claim is really clean and clear. Nadine Gordimer's short story, The Moment Before the Gun Went Off, uses heavy diction and a hopeless tone. See, they explained it up there. To convey how the apartheid used skin color to determine the amount of value a person has as those of color seek justice while those who were white held power. Like a very clear claim. We know exactly what Gordimer is saying about this topic, and they even previewed potentially what they're going to talk about. So awesome. All three are great. As far as what you do, hopefully these will help you. Note that they're all a little bit longer. You want to be between 20 and 40 lines. You don't want to pick something too short. It actually makes it harder. I know that seems impossible, but if you're highlighting things and you only have a few words to highlight from, it's hard to find different devices. But if you give yourself 20 to 40 lines, then you have more room for freedom. Finally, if you are struggling, like what is it that I'm looking for? Remember the spiky thing from poetry. That is perfect, right? So if you've already answered the questions, you already have the content, so you don't have to worry about that top one, that I get it. Maybe just say it in your head. But these are different things you can look for. You can look for tone in it. You can look for the structure. You can look for lit devices. So this is going to be posted in the course resources, the spiky thing. So if you're struggling on what to look for, use this. All right. Any other questions, please, please, please continue to let me know. You guys are doing a good job asking them. Keep it up. It makes my day to hear from you guys. I know that sounds silly, but you know, it gets a little crazy with the now 7-year-old and a 9-year-old. I'm ready for some more intellectual conversation. So anyway, hope you're well. Have fun, stay safe, be happy, make smart choices. Keep it up. I forgot, I have one more thing. Don't forget that your attendance, you have to check in. You have to do one of 3 things. Hopefully all 3, but you need to do the attendance question, which, what's your favorite fairy tales this week? You need to do the assignment and submit it. And if Schoology isn't working, you need to email me so that I know, so that I don't mark you as absent. All right. That was important. Sorry. Bye again.